So the other day I was talking to Mom about these AI videos going around of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen those where he says the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
And you know what Mom's response was?
What?
She doesn't know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is.
Yeah, she probably don't.
And when I told her that he's a popular scientist, she said that he's probably popular with younger people. What do you mean younger people? He was born in 1955. He's 22 years older than you.
Wow.
He's been influencing astrophysics for 30 years. He got his PhD in 1991. What were you guys doing in 1991? Oh, that's right, being 14 years old.
Yeah.
And she said that Bill Nye is more popular and or better. Bill Nye. Here's the thing. When you look up Neil deGrasse Tyson on Google, his main career is listed as astrophysicist.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what Bill Nye's main career is listed as? American television presenter. Bill Nye's main career listed on Google is being a guy on TV.
He is a scientist.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson's main career is listed as astrophysicist.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Mom really knows all that stuff.
Which, it reminds me of that video of Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about how we're the ones who made the stereotype of aliens being bad,
Yeah.
Like, what if they're just normal people like us?
They could be, but then look at what we do.
That's the thing. That's the thing he was saying, is that, like...
We conquer and
kill
each other.
That's the thing he was saying, though, is that, like, we fear aliens because we fear ourselves and what we're capable of.
Sure.
I think he's basically saying, like, what if they're just like us, and that's why we make them out to be scary,
Sure.
It's like...
And we also see how
we fear ourselves.
How nature operates here on Earth. How brutal it can be.
Yeah.
And one example people always use is, look what happened to the Native Americans when Europeans came here. The example of when something more advanced comes to something that's not as advanced.
Yeah.
The more advanced one is just going to, by nature, take over and conquer.
And, yeah, something that's always fascinated me is fake moon theory.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thought.
Specifically, oh, by the way, this is the Thundercast. That's the official name. Anyways, back to what I was saying. The amount of belief systems throughout history, and the amount of, like, myths and stories, where the moon is, like, a fake thing, where beings operate out of, and, like, spy on humans, is actually crazy. The amount of myths from different societies around the world that talk about beings that live inside the moon and watch over humans, and that have come down to help humans.
So other, like, countries and people in other
Yeah,
societies?
from a long time ago, some, like, myths and stuff.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember the exact things, but I saw it once in a Y-Files video, which reminds me, I gotta rewatch that video now to get some more information on that. But it's like, there's this one story from this one mythology, and he can probably explain it a lot better than me, that talks about that.
Yeah.
And it just makes you think all the more, maybe the aliens really did come down here and build some of the wonders of the world that we don't know how they were built,
Yeah.
It's like, with how many myths there are there from completely different ancient societies that didn't talk to each other at all, and were completely separate across the world from each other, even separated by oceans and stuff, and by miles of land. Talk about the same type of thing with the moon being a place where there's beings inside of it that watch over humans.
Yeah.
It's legitimately insane.
There are, and people also mention about how there's pyramids all over the world.
Yeah. Like, when the societies didn't talk to each other, how do they all decide that pyramids were the thing?
Yeah.
Like the pyramids of Egypt, the pyramids in what is it, the
Mexico.
Aztec pyramids.
Yep. And then
and all that.
The
It's like
Mayans have
the
pyramid-type
Mayans.
structures
That's
too.
what I was thinking about. The Mayans.
But the Aztecs are the ones that have that. I can't remember the name of the place, but the pyramid of the sun, the pyramid of the moon, and the pyramids are in Orion's belt configuration, just like the Egyptian pyramids.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
It's it's really weird when you think about it like that.
And the pyramids down at the Aztecs, they're impressive looking pyramids. They're huge. And then there's structures in India, I think it's India, where they basically, instead of building something out of rock, they carved out the rock to make the structure.
That is weird.
It's like they took a solid piece of rock, dug into it, and carved it out and made it beautiful structures. It's amazing. You're just like thinking, it's like, huh? How could they do that? Because it looks perfect. It's perfectly made.
And another thing that I always think about when I think about aliens is I think about the disappearances and obviously like the missing 411s. And there's that one story I always think of, which is Kenny Veach.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that found the M-shaped cave.
Yep.
And he described it on video. And then this one commenter like called him out, said he was bluffing. And so he said that he was going to make a video. And he couldn't find it. And then he recorded a video, said he couldn't find it. He went back and people called him out again. And so he said he was going back a third time, but there was never a video posted. In fact, Kenny was never found.
Yeah, he disappeared. And then they ended up looking in a cave, found his gun, or found something of his, but then never found him.
Here's the weird thing, though. And here's the thing that makes me kind of question this, the credibility of this being an alien, of this being able to be put in the alien category.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was either his girlfriend or his wife. I'm not sure if he was married or if it was just his girlfriend. But either way, his like partner. She said that he didn't bring any filming equipment like he normally would, as if he had no intention of filming.
I don't know.
So many people theorize that he killed himself because of the stress of it all.
Yeah. I mean, can't rule it out.
But I just find it so weird that he said that as he approached this M-shaped cave, there was like a weird vibrating sensation. And as he got closer and closer to the cave, the vibrating got worse and worse. And it scared him beyond belief.
Yeah.
And he was so scared by it that he just never wanted to go there again.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a man who was known to, not be scared by... He would let snakes, slither all over him. Like, he was known to deal with highly venomous snakes and just let them be on him,
Mm-hmm.
Like, just around his shoulders. There's even, pictures of it, too. And obviously, his videos. So this is a man who's, not afraid very easily. He's not...
But that scared him.
Yeah, he's not freaked out very easily. So, for that to scare him... What are you doing?
Texting Mom.
About what?
When the hell's she getting home?
Yeah, it just fascinates me a lot about that.
Yeah. It is a fascinating story. I mean, the thing about someone saying he didn't have any filming equipment, I mean, he could have just had his phone.
I'm pretty sure she said he left his phone, too. Or maybe he brought it, I don't remember what she said.
I remember hearing about his story, and it made me think that that cave that he found one of the areas that weird things go on. There's theories about underground things, and we know that our government has built huge underground bases. Like Area 51, you see above ground stuff, but people who have been there and people speculate and say most of the base is actually underground. They've humongously built a base under the ground that you can't even see.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the runway and the aircraft that's up top, you see that, but Area 51's an interesting thing. There's some weird things down there, too. They have this weird black skyscraper tower thing that's there in the middle of the freaking desert.
Um.
Two different radar towers for the runway to help the jets, because they do like military tests there.
Yeah.
And then of course there was that famous guy. I always forget his name. He said he was there, and the one building he worked out of was called S4. And he said that's where they hold the aliens and the aircraft.
So he's just flat out saying it.
Yeah, he first came out with it back in the 80s, I think, because he was afraid
And
of
of course.
the government. He was afraid the government was going to dispose of him.
So he just had to get that out there before they
He had
did.
to make himself big in front of the public to protect himself. And a guy who's well known now, George Knapp, took on his story back then and helped him get it out there. And it's interesting that the stories he's told, he's never changed. And
Like every detail has remained the same.
yeah, there's nothing suspicious about the things he said. And people look on and say that, he's one of the most credible people that we've ever heard come out with this stuff. He just comes out and tells you. It's pretty amazing. Oh, I wish I could remember his name. He's a famous guy. I mean, everyone's heard of him.
Maybe I can find it and then put it up on screen.
Yeah, the guy who first exposed Area 51, basically.
I always find it interesting when we go back to the missing 411 cases that that the people who go missing in those cases are either like really skilled at what they do or they're disabled.
Well, yeah, I mean, what you see again and again and again, and I don't know if it can be accounted for every single person, but they're usually people who are athletic, was in sports, or is, considered very smart. Some of them, having multiple PhDs, doctors, have been taken. And then there's other weird ones to where the person had a weird disability. Sometimes it was like they had like a weird blood disease.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even be able to tell by looking at them what was wrong with them.
Yeah.
And then there was this one where this guy he was old and he couldn't get around. He had really bad knees. And they were doing rock hunting. Him and a friend. Oh, she just said she just texted you.
Oh, what were you saying?
And the friend left and was going to do his rock things. And when he came back to look for his old buddy. Wait, Mom's at Subway and then she'll be home.
I don't have a text.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Then the guy went back to pick up the old guy. He walked to his area where he was doing rock hunting, and he was gone. And it's weird because this guy can't walk far on his own. It's really bad knees.
Yeah.
And they never found him. He ended up calling the sheriff. They came out and looked, and they never found him. His body was never found. He can't go anywhere.
That is... It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up.
And it's just one of those stories to where people disappear almost right in front of you.
It's almost as if they're trying to make like superhumans.
When,
they either grab people who are like really skilled physically or mentally, or people who are disabled physically or mentally.
Yeah, they look for things that are. Mom said, tell him to put his sound on for his notifications. I told him to do it before I left, and he said he did, but obviously he didn't. LOL. Make sure your notifications and sound is on.
Okay. You were saying? You were saying?
Hang on a minute.
Oh yeah, she's actually right. My notification sound isn't on. It's actually on silent.
So put it on.
That's fair. I should have listened.
There's a story where these people were at, I guess, a national park. Because a lot of these things happen in national parks. Probably because it's wilderness. There was a woman who was a adult age, but was mentally retarded. She had like the mind of a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. And the person went into the bathroom to use the bathroom, and when they came out, she was gone. And nobody else was around. Nobody else was heard. Nobody else was seen. And they never found her. She's gone. Just in a span of a few minutes.
It's so weird. That is so weird.
Then there's stories of a little boy who was found in a septic tank, which was really hard to get into. It's like they searched everywhere for him. Couldn't find him. Searched in the septic tank, didn't see him. Kept searching, and they're so baffled that they can't find him. They searched the septic tank again, and he was in there.
Dead?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh, then there's the one story. These weird bathrooms. I think it was in Japan. There's these weird toilet things. I can't remember how it works, but the guy was missing, and then they found him, and he was scrunched up inside of one of these weird the back of one of these weird toilets. It wasn't like our toilet. It was weird. I guess it all comes in the back and then washes away. A thing comes through and washes the back of them away, like they're all connected. He was scrunched up and crammed into that.
That is. How does that even happen?
No, what they're wondering is these beings are able to take us like just like that, and then when they're done with us, they just put us wherever they want, or maybe they don't even care where they put us. A lot of the people that's been found dead have been found with injuries that look like they were dropped.
Yeah, because they just see us as lab rats.
Yeah,
obviously. And didn't you say there are cases where like they will never find the body, but they'll find like their backpack or their shoes or like
that's happened.
Their clothes,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't find the actual body.
No.
And I remember, I don't know if you told me or if I heard it on a video. I remember hearing a story. It could have been from you, actually. That there was like there was like this little boy running from like his parents to his grandpa or something like that, and like and there's like an RV, and he was running to like his grandpa or something, and the parents looked away for 1 second, and then the kid was suddenly gone, just flash gone.
Oh. There are stories to where it says they looked away for just a moment.
For literally a second.
I mean, I don't know if it was literally a second, but they looked away and was elsewhere, and then they looked around and he was gone, and nobody knew where he went. That has been recorded on some of these 411 cases. That Dior Coons. This story's weird because they think that the grandfather's friend is kind of suspicious in all this. But it's weird that they could never find the kid. I mean, how could the guy hide the kid that well?
What's the story?
Dior Coons. He was going with his parents to go fishing. I guess they're at a camping area. And then I guess he changed his mind and wanted to go back with Grandpa. And Grandpa had a friend. And he wanted to go back and hang out with them. Kid was only 2 or 3. So they said, all right, run back. It wasn't that far, I guess. So the parents kept on going and let the kid run back. And then when they came back, they're like, where's Dior?
That might have been the story I was just talking about.
Yeah, probably is. And then the grandfather's like, huh? He never came back.
Yeah, that's the story. That's the story I was just talking about. So
And,
I got a few details mixed up because I haven't heard it in a while.
That story had, there's a lot of people that think the parents are involved and are just covering it up. There's people that think the grandfather is involved, and then there's people that think the grandfather's weird friend is involved.
There's some holes in that story.
But they've never found the kid, and they have no evidence to show that anybody did anything to him. It's a weird story, and last I knew, he's still missing. They still never found anything of him.
But was the grandpa's friend actually there?
Yeah.
But like...
And his grandfather's friend is he's a younger guy. He's a lot younger than the grandfather, and he's a little bit weird, a little slow. He's a little off. Something wrong with him, Just not quite a normal person. And the one video where it shows people trying to talk to him, and he gets all weird and shuts his door, and of course that looks weird. But it could just be because he's kind of stupid, and he's feeling all this pressure, and he just doesn't want to be around it no more. So like when you watch it, you're like, that guy's weird, he's off. But the grandfather said they never seen him and nothing ever happened. And they never did find any evidence of the kid. So it's like, it's a weird one. I don't know what the true story is on that, but it's definitely weird. And there are other stories, and even a regular newscast one time put it in their headline, "Don't be last in line." There was a story, I think, out of North Carolina where these people were camping and they were doing hiking. And I think it was a girl. She just happened to be last in line, and all of a sudden they all noticed she wasn't around. They never found her. She was never found. Nobody else was around. There was no
And I guess
strange
that
man.
like genuinely freaked everyone out. So they're like, try not to be last in line. We don't know what's going
When the news
on.
story, when the local news heard about it, they made up the thing that the girl was last in line and she's gone. Don't be last in line, because there's something out there that's gonna get you.
Marketing.
There's so many weird stories with 411.
I mean, we could sit here and go all day, probably.
There's ones that it's weird that, and then sometimes they find people, but it's years later they find their bones.
How do they know it's them?
I guess DNA, maybe the clothes they were wearing, maybe they find their wallet. But they end up, they and then there's other times they're looking for a missing person, and then they find another old body, and it's not them, it's somebody else. I don't know how many times I've seen that on there.
That is so weird.
They find a body, and it turns out it's somebody else that was missing from years ago. And it's like, what? How many bodies are out there?
It's like it's all connected. You insert that one meme of that guy with the big conspiracy board and the mess. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like posing like this, and he has the conspiracy board, and he's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You seen that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's from an actual show. I just can't place it.
There might be some of these missing things where there's nothing else involved. They just happen to go missing, and they're in a spot that was hard to find. But it's too weird that a lot of these people are found when they do find their dead body. It's in a spot that was nearly impossible to get to. Like as if they were dropped.
Yeah.
That has happened a bunch of times. One of the weirdest stories was these guys that were rock climbing. And they were actually like attaching the rope to them so that they couldn't fall. There's 3 guys. The 2 guys got up. And then all of a sudden they noticed the other guy ain't coming. They're looking down. It's like, hey, wait. They're yelling for him. They go back down, look for him. Can't find him. And they end up getting somewhere and then calling the sheriff. And they do a search. Just bring the search and rescue out. They're expecting him that he probably fell. So they went down to the bottom and looked. He didn't fall. He's not down there. They never found him. So then the idea is, did he try to disappear? That's what people say. Like, the only other option is that he wanted to disappear. He wanted to start a new life and just get away from everyone that he knew. And he hid. That's the only other option.
I think it would be funny if that was the case, and like one day they're just walking in that area, and they come across like a campsite, and then he just casually opens the door and is like, "Hey guys, Hey there, I'm glad you came."
The idea is that they go live in another town far away and start a new life as a new person.
That is weird. I wonder how true that is. Like, I wonder how many of these cases they just got a new identity. They got like plastic surgery. They got like a wig. They started a new life in a new town with a new identity, and they were just no one ever knew.
Here's the weird thing about that, though. Dave Politis did a bunch of cases where it's basically amnesia, and most of these seem to happen years and years ago. When they used the word amnesia a lot back then. And what they would end up finding was, they would find a person, sometimes they'd be found by accident, living a different life. The person forgot who they were, woke up in a different town, and just confused, walking around trying to talk to people, and just started a new life in a different town and a different job. And then there's stories, and then they accidentally get found.
What?
And then they say, "Hey, you're so and so from what?" He's like, "I don't know my name. I don't know my name." And then there's other stories to where the person is in another town walking around, and they ask for help because they don't know how they got there, and they don't remember who they are or who their family is. And the theory is that these are also 411 cases, but for some reason these people weren't killed. But whatever was done to them scrambled their mind a little bit. Yeah, he did a bunch of cases on that. People that don't know how they got there and who they are and who their family is, and it's like they forget everything. Their mind is scrambled.
That is so weird.
It seems like over time, eventually they'll start to get to know their families again. But there's other stories to where they just don't remember their family. The one story was sad, where he couldn't remember his wife and had no idea who she was and that they were together, and they ended up not staying together because he couldn't remember her. Like, he became a different person.
Like, he disappeared for months, and then when he returned, he just didn't remember anything?
When they found him and then brought him back, because everyone was wondering if he was dead. So when they found him, of course, they're happy that they find him, and they bring him back to his family.
And then he's just like, who are you guys? I don't know who you are. Who are you random people?
He's like, I don't remember any of this. I don't remember you. I don't remember them. I don't remember who I was. And the idea is that these are some of the survivors of being taken, and whatever was done to them messed with their brains.
Is amnesia like a real thing, like it is in the movies? I always wondered that. Like, how if you get like a concussion, could you actually lose your memory?
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you hit your head way too hard to get a concussion.
Usually, it comes back over time.
Interesting. I always just wondered if that was like a movie trope or if that was a real thing too, like to an extent.
It's a real thing. And then this one happened recently. This guy remembered, but it was really weird. He was skiing, I think in upstate New York.
Okay.
But he was from Canada. He's a firefighter up in Canada. He's vacationing in New York, skiing. And all of a sudden, he doesn't remember everything. He's missing. The people are like, we don't know where he went. And then he's found out in California. Uh-huh. And he doesn't remember how he got there. He still has the ski clothes on, by the way. Still wearing all the same clothes he had. And he said the only thing he remembered was he was riding in the passenger seat of a big rig. And then he blacks out again. And what they're thinking was he was probably wandering around, and the trucker pulled over and said, hey man, you need a ride? And the guy's probably like, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what. And so hop in, I'm going here.
It's almost as if, like, the effects that whatever they are doing have on you is like, it's almost like drunk, you know? It's like you're walking around doing things and then you wake up hungover and you don't remember any of it. You do things like that are completely out of character.
Yeah.
You just go wherever, do whatever, and then the next day you don't remember any of it.
Well, there is something that was found. Dave Paulides figured this out, and he wishes that more coroners would test for this drug. I can never think of the name of the drug. It's the same drug that they use for date rape. But it's a drug that, just like all drugs, our mind actually makes the chemical naturally, but in very tiny amounts. And it's almost like as if whatever's doing this is able to remotely trigger our brain to create a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then it affects us and makes us to where we can't move.
Yeah, I learned about how drugs affect your mind from smart nonsense. It's actually very interesting.
Yeah. Well, the theory is, if coroners would test this more with these weird cases of 411, they would find this drug in high amounts in their body.
What does it do exactly?
It makes you paralyzed.
Paralyzed?
It makes you where you can't move. You're aware of things, but you can't move. Because a lot of people are found drowned in the water. There's weird cases that happen in cities, too. A bunch. And he's found that these people are often found in the water. No one knows how or why they got there. But they're found drowned. And there was a case or two to where they did find the drug in their system. And it was weird that, why would the drug be in their system when they're walking around? That would make no sense. If someone drugged you, you wouldn't be able to do that. He's thinking that whatever these are doing this can trigger remotely your brain to over-create it. And then you're easy to be dealt with. He has so many cases of people ending up in the water. And, there's a big mystery of why is there so many people in water? And there's another theory with that. that there's things about water that actually make it easier to use as a portal. And when they're trying to blink these people in and out, sometimes they're using nearby water as a portal, and that's why they're found in the water.
Huh. You know, I'm just sitting here thinking while you're talking a little bit. And I just had the thought. I wondered, where does the gray head like design that we know come from for like what we imagine aliens to look like?
From witness
Is it?
accounts.
Oh, I think you told me that before. So it's like what people describe them as. People who say that they were abducted in like the night and then returned to their bed. They describe them as like these gray, big-headed beings that talk to them like telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't you say that they also seem to act like androids, like robotic almost?
Multiple people have said that these grays are working for someone else.
They're like androids?
They aren't like the main thing. They're working for someone else. People have said there are tall grays too.
And those maybe are the organic ones?
Maybe. And there's crazy stories of abductions that it's hard to believe. One lady said that she was there in the ship. The little gray aliens were there. And the lady's very credible. So when you hear her, you want to believe her. She's very credible. She's not nutty. I believe she said there were also tall grays.
She's not like she's not like that famous picture of. Have you seen that famous picture of like the History Channel guy with the crazy hair? Is like aliens.
That's Giorgio Sokolos. He's actually a smart guy, but
yeah, but people make him look crazy with that gif.
Yeah, because he does the hair. Yeah.
You were saying?
She was saying that there were small grays there. They seemed to be working for the tall grays. And then a being came out, get this, and other people have talked about this. Blows my mind. And it seemed to them that this one was the one in charge. But a praying mantis type of being came up to her.
Oh my god. I was wondering about that because I've heard so many people mention praying mantises when talking about like our overlords or something. When like even like people who aren't credible and like are actually kind of crazy when they say it, talk about like I'm talking people who say that like the sky is fake or like the sky is a giant TV screen or like the sun isn't real.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like there's this one guy on TikTok who says that if the sun were real, like he says something about like I don't remember exactly what he said, but like basically, he said that if the sun were real, it wouldn't be Earth wouldn't be reacting to it the way it does.
How the fuck do you know, idiot?
And like, there's this other lady named Alex Serves Tea, and she has a lot of crazy conspiracies. But one of them is that the sky is a giant computer screen. I'm not joking either.
There's a saying I like. It's good to keep an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out.
That's a good saying.
And people like that is an example.
But she's one of the people who advocates that at the top of it all, even beyond our government, beyond everyone, our overlords are praying mantises.
I mean, she could have got that from abduction
Giant
reports.
praying mantis people.
But there are multiple cases where they do say that there's a praying mantis type of being that walks up.
It has like the arms of a praying mantis. Is that what it is?
I'm not sure. Or
is it like
just the head?
Is it just like the head of a praying mantis with the little pincers?
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure.
it's like a bug head.
Exactly how they describe it, but they say it's it's a being that looks like a praying mantis. That
would make somewhat sense because they all kind of have like bug eyes. All aliens, they kind of have like the compound bug eyes.
Yeah.
If you look at them,
kind of look that way. Yeah.
the reflecty eyes.
Mm-hmm. Then there's a weird story out of.
She home?
She might be home.
Is she home? Listen. Okay, I didn't get a text. I was gonna say she can't yell at me because I put my sound on. What is it from?
Okay. No, I didn't get one.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
But I heard a.
I don't know. It's a notification of some other kind.
Oh, okay.
There's a story in the alien 411, the alien connection, or the UFO connection. And one of the stories is from a guy, and I get to hear his story. He's still alive. He was elk hunting. And there's a thing about the elk hunters and elk. A lot of these beings, especially out west, are extremely interested in elk for some reason.
Why?
They've even been seen taking elk. We don't know. And this guy was an elk hunter, and Dave Paulides does say that he actually has a special subset of missing people that are all elk hunters. The guy said that he was, this is when he was younger now, and there's even a story in the newspaper back when it happened. He's old now.
In the newspaper.
And I guess he shot, and his bullet hit something invisible. He walked up to it, and he ends up describing it. He found his bullet and even kept it and handed it in. You could tell there's a bullet there that hit something hard. He said it looked like a clear box. You could just see it a little bit because it interfered with, the air and the light. And there's something about there was an elk there that he was shooting at, and that's what his bullet hit instead. Like the elk was being protected or something, because these beings wanted to take it. And then something happened to where, I guess he blacked out, and then he's inside of a craft of some kind, and he's talking to them, and he said the guy didn't move his lips when he talked. He drew a picture of what the guy looked like. He looked kind of human, but kind of not. His hair looked like straw, reminded him of straw, like the straw bedding, I guess.
Yeah.
Like straw. And he had a cone in this arm instead of a hand, and just no hand over here.
Just a wrist?
Yep, basically, that's the way he drew it. And they're talking to him and everything, and as he's sitting there, I guess they checked him out, and then the guy said, well, I want to go home. And the being said to him, don't worry, you're going back. We found out we don't need you. And they never told him why, but he figured he had a vasectomy at that time. He can't reproduce. And he thinks to this day that's why they put him back. They put him back, and he's alive.
But need him for what?
Yeah.
We don't need you.
His DNA.
But like before that, what did they talk to him about? Like, what did they say to him? I don't
remember everything that was said.
Just like they had just like a normal conversation. Like, hey, how was your day go?
They
Welcome to the alien checkup. How's your day going?
We'll have to watch the documentary together. I'll watch it again. But he tells the story in there, and it's amazing. I mean, they say, people ain't gonna believe you because the story's crazy. He's like, there's nothing I can do about that. I know what happened. And they said when they first found him, he kept going on about, they have my elk. They have my elk. He was so upset that they took the elk.
He was very upset that they took his hunt.
He wanted to get that freaking elk.
It's like, they took my damn hunt.
They took my elk. They're taking my elk.
That was my score.
They keep taking my elk.
That was my game.
And there's also a story there of to where they actually seen an elk being picked up by a craft and taken. And the Dave Paulides interviewing the sheriff and everything that took the story.
He just saw it?
They were out in the wilderness. I can't remember why they were there. I don't think they were elk hunting. But they actually seen a craft come, a small craft. Because the craft, they said, wasn't much bigger than the elk. And because they said they remembered being surprised that this craft that small could actually pick up an elk. And then they said, well, how did they pick it up? Was there a rope or anything? And they said, no, there was nothing between the thing. They just picked it up like invisible force and carried it off. And so and Dave has got enough information that there's definitely a connection between these beings. They're very interested in elk. A lot of elk hunters go missing. And there's also that weird disease going around, chronic wasting disease. And Paulides has a theory that the aliens are interested in that for some reason.
What's that?
Chronic wasting disease is like a mad cow type of disease, but it's only...
Oh, that! You told me about that.
It's like only cervids get it, which is elk, deer, moose.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And for some reason, they're very interested in cervids, and especially elk.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in it too, but more so like why it's happening and what it is.
Because I think it's all across the country now.
It's strange.
And Paulides says it's the biggest freaking animal disaster that humans have ever had to deal with.
It's so weird because
and they don't know what to do about it.
It's so weird because didn't you say it can only be transferred if you eat the brain?
No, that's with humans.
Oh. That's with humans.
If humans eat another human's brain, they'll get a
That's a
type
weird
of
part to me.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like whatever's in our brain, it can't like be consumed by us. Otherwise,
We're not allowed to eat it.
it's
or
weird.
we pay a price.
But we can eat literally any other part of the human body, and it won't affect our brains.
I guess not.
Well, it'll give us a craving for human
Not
flesh.
physically, anyway. But mentally.
It'll give us a craving for human flesh.
But I guess what happened with mad cow disease is they would grind up beef and mix it in with the cow's food to give them more protein.
Yeah.
And then because they're not supposed to eat meat, and then it gave them mad cow disease. That it's a prion disease. A prion is a weird little thing that's smaller than a virus, and there's no cure for it.
That we've made.
Yeah, that we found. And there's a story that, I mean, the Game Commission always says, we don't think it could be passed to humans, but get your deer tested and don't eat it until you do. And don't eat it if it has it. But humans can't get it. So that doesn't make sense. But supposedly these two hunters
I think what it is they're trying to reassure us, but also saying like, hey, we warned you, so you can't like sue us. You can't do anything.
I think what they're saying is, don't panic, but don't mess with it either. Don't eat it.
Right.
There's two hunters that ate it after they knew, and they're like, it ain't gonna hurt us. And they both ended up dying because they both got a disease, but it was the human form of like a mad cow disease.
Mad human disease.
Yeah. So from eating an infected deer that had chronic wasting disease for cervids, somehow transformed into the human version of it, and they both died.
That's weird.
So don't eat your deer if it tests positive for CWD, chronic wasting disease.
That is weird.
I gotta get up. Someone, looks like mom's calling me.
That's gonna be it for this episode. Bye.